One thing that I've wanted to do for a while, and I think now is probably a good time to do so, is go through the older videos that I made. I started my YouTube channel in the beginning of December 2019, but this is the first official video I ever made here, December 28th, 2019, the first investment type video that I made. When I created this video, I knew about CSGO investing. I've been playing CSGO for a long time. I've been trading, I've been somewhat investing in certain items, but overall I didn't have a really crazy inventory. I didn't have any plan for my items. Now I have a bunch of cases, now I have a bunch of stickers, and you can kind of see which trajectory that my inventory is going in. Back in this time, it was just a bunch of random stuff. So I definitely didn't know as much back then as I do now. So I wanted to go through all of the videos, see what takes I had, see what worked out, see what didn't. I already have one in mind for sure, the Berlin 2019 stuff. But overall, I just wanted to go through, see what worked out, see what didn't, see what I got wrong, see what I got right, and let's see what my advice was like. Capsule, as it has the Dignitas Hollow, which is the only sticker in that capsule that's really worth a lot of money, but the payoff is massive. The Legends capsule is $20 Canadian. It used to be $20 Canadian. When I made this video, I should have invested in the capsules, but I didn't. For some reason, I wasn't confident in my own advice or something. I don't know what the reason was. I should have bought these capsules. I remember someone commented on this video, I think DM'd me on Twitter, and said that he was going to invest in the capsules, and I definitely should have followed with him, because summer of 2020 is when the massive sticker hype came, and these capsules went past like $100, I think. And the Dignitas Hollow sticker was above $1,000. And I should have sold my sticker back then. I didn't. I still have that sticker. It's not worth anywhere near $1,000 now. But this capsule was worth a ton of money after this video. I feel pretty confident in this video. The quality of the editing isn't that great. For some reason, the video isn't done properly. But overall, I think what I said in this video was pretty good so far, 30 seconds in. The knife I unboxed is not even a bad knife. I'd say it's probably around the middle. It's a flip knife black laminate, and that is $175 on the Steam market. But on the other hand, you have this item. You put $20 down to open the capsule. If you're to buy from the Steam market, you can get it even cheaper on third-party sites. And then on top of that, the item you can get from this, the super rare item that's way easier to get than a knife, is bordering $300. And I still agree with this. If you're someone who wants to gamble in CS, sure, it's a lot more exciting to get a knife out of a case, but in terms of value, in terms of the money you'll get back, your odds with capsules are so much better than cases. And so I still stand by this. I think if you're going to open something in CSGO, it should be a capsule. And this Cologne 2014 capsule was insane. It was $20 to buy the capsule, and the Dignitas sticker was over $300. There's quite a few hollows that were worth a decent amount of money, so I don't know the math for back then. I didn't jot down the prices for everything, but I think if you open this capsule, you would probably average a profit over time, or at least close to even. Either way, much better than cases. There are definitely other capsules that you can open up and make a good profit from. I'd say the Cavisa 2015 capsule is a good one for that, but I do not feel like spending $150 opening one capsule and gain something that's $40 because that would destroy me. So it's a good thing I didn't actually, because I waited a little bit and the capsule went down to about $80 Canadian. I was able to get it with a buy order, and I got a Fnatic Hollow, which isn't anything special. But nowadays that Fnatic Hollow is a little bit under $200, I believe. Worked out pretty well for me. So this is right after the key fiasco. This is right when the update came out where Valve announced that if you buy a key, it will not be tradable anymore. So the only tradable keys are keys that already exist in the game. And as you can see here, I guess as a side note, you can see the mess of my inventory. A bunch of random guns, random stickers, I have my keys in there. I have random CS20 stickers that I haven't sold yet for some reason. So I knew about the market, but my inventory was a complete mess, and I knew a lot of these investments wouldn't work out, but I was just holding on to them anyways. The point where my inventory actually changed is when I did my investment challenge, where I sold all the random crap in my inventory, and now I actually have mostly investments and they mostly make sense. One thing they can be compared to though is the Dota 2 keys. They were discontinued, people bought them up hoping to make a profit off of them, the prices went down, and eventually they started to rise again, but it was very slow. I think this was a good comparison to make because they're performing pretty much exactly like the Dota 2 keys. They have had a slow rise over time, but overall, if you want to invest, they were nothing special. You could have invested in something else and made much more money off of it. So if you're going to buy something that just sits in your inventory, probably go with cases or like capsules instead. I'd say keys probably aren't your best investment choice right now. That being said, if you're still holding on to keys, they will go up in price. So if you don't need the money and they're just sitting in your inventory, you might as well keep them. But using examples. So this is the problem I had back then. I was pretty much waiting for a big spike that never happened. So in this video here, I'm basically saying if you have keys already, you might as well just hold on to them and take that slow rise. But I compared them to cases and capsules, which if you look at it, you could have sold these keys, bought some capsules, bought some cases, and if you look at where they are now, these keys have almost not moved at all, and cases and capsules are up a ton. This is a video about the Simon match fixing allegations that happened a while ago. This was after they already spiked, and I pretty much did a report. It wasn't a whole lot of investment advice. This was pretty much just reporting what happened and what I think will happen from Valve. So there's not a whole lot to talk about from the investment side, but one thing I do say in this video is that this won't be iBuyPower version 2, because the quantities are way too high and Simon is not that big of a team. With the iBuyPower situation, they were a massive deal. There were articles, Valve made an official statement, they were a really good team, likable players, players that people didn't like, not just some unknown team that somehow made it to a major. So my advice is that this was too risky to invest in, and you might as well move on to something else, which is something I still believe in today. What I do have to say about this video though is having no music is pretty awkward, and this gameplay is terrible quality. I'm glad I fixed all those issues. I personally bought keys when they were about $4 Canadian, and I sold them for $20 Canadian at the peak because I saw the hype coming and I was able to get there before the hype came. Which is great for me, but think about the guy that bought it for $20. He is now $16 in debt after the crash. And he is still in debt. The keys have still not recovered from that original price. The pour went out for those guys. They lost money hard. And unintentionally, this happened with my StatTrak Factory New Tranquility. This is an older shotgun. It's a pink shotgun, StatTrak Factory New, not very common. One person bought up 4 of them for a trade up, and the price went from $50 to $100. This wasn't intentional, he was just doing a trade up, but you can see how the price can jump just from one person. So this is why I had faith in the skins that were bought for the investment challenge that I did a while ago. We had the MiG-7 Counter-Terrorist and the MP9 Dark Gauge, and the quantities on these guns were super low. So the way the challenge worked is I had the items listed for 2 times profit. And what could happen is someone could have bought up a few of these skins to do a trade up, and he could have bought the one that was listed for $100. So this is why I still had faith in these items during the investment challenge, because I knew out of nowhere that could happen, because I have seen it happen before with my shotgun, which is used to trade up for the Factory New Wasteland Rebel. Before I bought the keys at $4, I sold them at $20. I bought Simon and Ramsix stickers, and I sold about half of them when they hit the peak, which was about 3 times profit. It broke me even. So even though I still have about half of these in my inventory, I still broke even. So no matter what they sell at now, I'll still profit from it. So here comes that ideology again, where I have to wait for that one massive spike that will eventually come, even though it never comes, and then I can sell then, which pretty much means I never sell it. So I finally fixed this part of me, and I've sold a ton of the items that I have in my inventory. I've invested in more streamlined items. I'm going to have prices that I sell at, timelines where I sell at. This way I should actually profit off of the items that I invest in at the rate I should profit at. If there's no long-term reason why the price is going to stay high, like the Simon situation, the keys situation, and the nothing situation, don't buy if the price is already shot up. More permanent items, those are better for something like that. So think of the iBuyPower permanent ban. When they got banned, they were never coming back. So you know that even though the price might spike and go down a little bit, it's still going to raise over time. The Howl M4A4, it's an infamous skin, it's a contraband skin. That skin is never going to come back, it's removed from the case, it's infamous in the game. That one. So this is pretty much my take on the North situation. I had a few people ask me about should I invest in North or not, and I think North are a temporary spike. Sure, I brought up iBuyPower in that conversation there, but iBuyPower are an infamous team. It's not just a one-time spike. North, the only thing they're known for is some crappy rebrand and being second fiddle to Astralis. They have nothing important about them. The players always swapped around, their new logo is terrible. So honestly, I don't see North Investments doing well, and this is pretty much the template for why I make that decision. Playing around hype and knowing which one is a good idea and which one is not, that's something that is learned. It's not really a skill, but it really isn't that hard to do. You can look at a ton of other examples, and within a day you'll know exactly how the Steam market works. It's very predictable and it's pretty easy to do. So I think on the surface level this is true. You can see certain items, you can see certain movements, and you can understand, hey, there's going to be hype here. But when you really get down to it, it's really not that easy. You don't know how many of these items exist in people's inventories. You don't know how long the hype is going to last. You don't know how high the hype will go. And you don't really know if it's worth your time to invest because of all these factors. I think looking back on this is kind of a stupid thing to say, because sure, after watching a few YouTube videos, you can understand how the Steam market works and you can understand how things rise in price, how things lose their hype. But honestly, actually understanding hype is not nearly as easy. If these agents will be exclusive after the operation ends. Will they be in a case? Will they be in a drop? Well, we don't really know. We don't know if they'll be exclusive or not. So I remember making this video, and there were a few people in my comments beforehand that said they were potentially going to invest in operation agents, and I did not believe in operation agents at all. And I remember when I was making this section of the video, I just wanted to straight up say no and leave it at that. Because I 100% believe that there would be new agents in the game. They put way too much time into making agents. They put way too much into the badges. They weren't going to make it a one-time thing. And I was right. So honestly, I should have just said no here, they will not be exclusive. Concern number 2 is what if other agents come out that are better? So if a new agent comes out and it looks better or it looks cooler, then the agents before that will go down a lot. The main one would be the Ava agents. So looking back on the Ava agents and the other Shard Web agents after the Broken Fang agents came out, honestly, some of the Broken Fang agents look pretty cool, and I could see why the Shard Web agents went down in price. But looking back on it, honestly, I think if any agent came out, garbage or not, the Shard Web agents would have crashed. I think the prices were too high, the quantities were too high because they weren't consumable, not enough people cared about the agents, and I think looks aside, the prices would have crashed. I don't think looks mattered a whole lot. I think either way the prices would have crashed. Therefore, I haven't bought any. I'm just keeping the operators that I got from my drops, and I haven't bought anything off of the market. I'll use my money somewhere else. So here comes that ideology again. I was not confident in the agents. I did not think they were going to do well. So what did I do? Well, I didn't buy any new agents, but I did hold on to the ones I had for pretty much no reason. I could have sold these agents, I could have made money somewhere else, but instead I held on to them even though I had no faith in them and I wasn't even going to use them. So here comes that issue again. I was just holding on to stuff for no reason. I wasn't selling it. So I'm glad I got past that because I would have missed out on a ton of opportunities if I didn't sell some of the garbage I had in my inventory earlier on. So this is the video I really wanted to talk about. One of two actually. There's 2 videos where I was completely wrong and I wanted to go back and see how wrong really was I. So this one is comparing the Shard Web case to the Hydra case, and we've got some crispy clean Black Ops 1 gameplay, probably like 360p for some reason because that's how all my recordings looked at the time. So let's see what I said. Because the Hydra case didn't drop, more people were holding on to the Shard Web case this time around. The quantity is much higher than the Hydra case was at this same time right after the operation. This is where the video should have ended right here. This is all you need to know. The quantity was too high on these cases. There's nothing truly amazing about this case, but it is a massive quantity at a high price, and honestly, that's all I needed to say. As a result, there's way more cases sitting around. There's 80,000 on the market. I would say there's more than 500,000 if you include all the inventories also. So I was trying to think. I've watched this clip back probably like 5 times now, and I'm wondering how I thought there was only 500,000 cases. but I think it's from back before there were storage units. Because back in the day, without the storage units, a lot of people weren't making duplicate accounts. What you could do is you could buy thousands of items and list them on the Steam markets, and if you ever feel like removing them, you can get more than 1,000 items in your inventory. It's kind of like a cheat. So if you list a ton of items on the market and then you take it all off of the market, you can actually have a few thousand items in your inventory instead of 1,000. So because of that, back in the day, I guess it's only been like a year, 2 years since the storage unit came out, unless I'm really losing track of time with COVID. But either way, there were way more items listed on the Steam market because there weren't storage units. So I think you can't even compare something to the Steam market anymore, and I think that's where I was wrong here. I think that's why I thought the quantity was so low, because I was looking at the Steam markets and I was extrapolating that information.
I actually changed my stance on the shared web case. Just a few days ago, I thought it wouldn't be as high as the Hydra because of the quantity, but there's a few things in the Operation Shared Web case that I think will really boost up the price. No. AK skin, it has a pink SG skin, one of the best SG skins in the game, and it has the AWP, the crazy AWP.
So let's look at these skins here. So we have the AK-47 Rat Rod up there. Really not a special AK skin, not something super desirable. Doesn't really carry the case, can't really carry the case. Then we have the SG. The SG received a nerf, and now no one uses the gun and no one cares about the skins for the gun. So this skin crashed hard and it doesn't contribute to the case being popular at all. And then we have the AWP. Now I thought a ton of people liked this AWP, but apparently it's kind of mid. A lot of people didn't like it a whole lot. So even though this AWP can carry the case, it wasn't like a super carry. With the AK-47 Rat Rod not being anything special, and with the SG not being anything special, and with the Fracture case having the Shared Web case knives, this AWP was really the only thing carrying the case, and it couldn't even do that.
And knowing Valve and how they run CSGO and what we've seen throughout the years, a new case will not be coming out for months. So that means for the next few months, if you want a skeleton knife, you have to unbox a Shared Web case, because there probably won't be another case anytime soon.
I was actually correct about the timeline, and I think this could apply if the quantity is what I thought it was, but because the quantity was way higher, it doesn't even matter that there's a few months for people to buy. The quantity was too high, people couldn't eat through the cases, and the prices went down.
So I believe that the case will be opened more often than many people think because of these items that it has inside of it. The quantities will get lower, the price will get higher, and I believe it will pass the Hydra case at some point. No.
Shared Web case will do better than the Hydra case. And here we go again, saying that Berlin 2019 investments are good after the Rio Major got postponed. Here we go.
That had changed recently when the Rio Major got postponed due to the coronavirus. As a result, there will only be one major this year instead of two, which would mean the gap between majors will be over 1 year.
And I think these Berlin 2019 stickers would actually have a more normal path if that was the case. What I wasn't expecting is the major later on this year, the Rio Major, when they moved it to November, December-ish. I didn't expect that to get postponed again. And what that did is it pretty much killed the CS market. What I learned with this whole COVID situation is when there's a break in the markets, when there's nothing new, it's not that quantities go down and prices go insane. What actually happens is items are stored in storage units and they don't move, and the market doesn't move, and prices stay stagnant. That's about all that happens.
For most of the people, they don't care about exactly how the sticker looks or how they work with investments. They just want something to put on a gun, especially with player signatures. It really doesn't matter which major it is, you just get the cheapest one.
So I think with player signatures, that's somewhat relevant. I think with the paper stickers and the foil stickers, people don't really care a whole lot. When it comes to the gold stickers, I think they do care. But with paper and foil, they don't really care. But when it comes to the team stickers, I think people do care how they look. Sure, you can support an individual player with a player autograph, and I think that comes into play. But how many people actually support a team with their team sticker? Like, people can play favorites. I think actually supporting your team with the stickers that you put on your gun is actually a very small factor on the total amount of stickers traded, the total amount of stickers bought, and the total amount of stickers put on crafts. I think it plays a very small factor.
So now the Berlin 2019 stickers won't slow down until November or December. As a result, the Berlin 2019 capsules and stickers, despite their immense quantity, there were tons of these, have still been selling well, and the prices are going up right now.
So obviously nowadays we know this isn't true, but that major was postponed, so I want to reserve judgment for that. I'm going to give myself a way out here, because I think if there was a major in December, these stickers would have had decent selling all the way up until November because there's people waiting for the next major. I think with the major being postponed indefinitely, that's kind of what killed the market because there's nothing happening. I think with the promise of a new major in December, the market would have flowed a little bit better, and we may have even seen better profit with these Berlin 2019 stickers. But I think the biggest mistake I made here is just expecting there to be another major later on in the year. I don't know how it would have played out if there was.
One thing to make this investment even better is that the CS player base has been really strong through the Valorant stuff. With all the people saying Valorant is the new CSGO and Valorant will take over CSGO, it seems like the CS community is pretty locked in and most people don't really care, and the market's actually still thriving even though there's a game challenging CS right now.
I think that was true back then, and I still think that's true now, that Valorant has pretty much no effect on the CS market. If it does, it's very minimal. But what the CS community does really bad with is having literally no new items in the game. Valve added nothing to the game for so long, and just the market stagnated. That's pretty much all that happened here. The market stagnated, Berlin 2019 wasn't anything special, if anything it was ugly, and because of that, the Berlin 2019 stickers kind of just died. So this video was bad advice, but it's also really hard to predict the future of these stickers. So I'm going to give myself a way out here. I don't feel too bad about it, but it definitely was bad advice. Even though this was before the summer hype and you could have sold during the summer for a good profit. So hopefully someone that watched this video did buy these stickers and did sell them during the summer. So I guess I'll leave it right here. I just went to edit this video and I'm at about 22 minutes here. So I think I can call it quits now. If you like this kind of video, I'll happily do another one, so leave a comment if you want to see something like this again. Leave a like on the video also if you enjoyed it. And if you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. My channel is mostly focused on just market stuff, CS market stuff. That's all I have until Wednesday. Thank you.